So I still remember raspberries was one of our main crops that actually makes some money for us most years. And we were walking on the driveway, and it was supposed to be raspberry. We were just about to start harvesting our raspberry crop, and these dust mites moved in and just basically decimated the crop. And I remember saying to Craig, we've got to grow. If we want to make a living at this, we have to have some product that we sell that is not going to depend on the weather or bugs can't get into it. Or so that was kind of then we started getting this idea, yeah, he can make good beer. We can start doing that. So.
I think today's craft brew community tends to be younger. They tend to branch out. They want to break away from the corporate brews of their parents' generation. They want to move away from the Budweisers and the Coors and the Mix and so forth. And so every year statistics show that the craft brew industry is growing, whereas macrobreweries, their productions have gone down. And so the whole microbrewery boom right now is really based on that change of perception, change of flavor, and I think that a lot of the younger generation really drives that. Although, like myself, old guy, there's a lot of us that are in the 50-plus generation that love craft brew, and of course we want to cater to a broad spectrum of folks.
The type of clientele that we run into are people that appreciate craft beer, local products, both with the farm and the brewery. We enjoy the folks that come in from the neighborhood or from the north side, but also from other areas that are looking for something different.
You know, we started with the farm first, and then I started home brewing. And as we experimented with our different home brew mixes, flavors, whatever else, we wanted to go ahead and start putting our farm product into our beers.
Craig and Eli have a whole range of beers they make. From the honey lager is one of our favorites, and it uses local honey from up north in Deer Park, so we promote the idea that it's local products. And then we have some of our mainstays that are IPAs that like the Dundee uses our Centennial hops from the farm. And then we have the dark beers that have heavier malt and grain. The other favorite probably for a lot of people is the Black Dog Stout, which is named after our dog Nandi. And just the warmth that a pet can bring you, kind of the idea of the Black Dog Stout, a dark beer can bring you the same warmth in the wintertime. But we like working from home. We like being here at this location. We don't really want to have to go somewhere else to go to work. It's an ideal setup for us. We walk down to work, and just having everything right here and having our son Eli working with us, it's an ideal setup.
There are great benefits to having family working within the business. My youngest son is really co-brewer and co-farmer with our business.
My parents have been doing this since way back in the day when they were full-time teachers and just farmed in the summer. And me and my siblings growing up would help on the farm in the summers. Mostly grew raspberries back then. That was kind of when I started farming as well, as a kid, gardening and growing raspberries and whatnot. Like 5 to 10 years ago, my dad saw starting a brewery as a way to make the farm even more of a thing that he could pour his time into and maybe retire early from teaching. So that was sort of around when the brewery started in 2012 that he quit teaching full time. I actually went to Whitworth College, and that was kind of when I decided I wanted to work doing farming and brewing. And after a year out of college, came back, and I've been here working full-time with my parents for 3 years. So it's a pretty small operation. My parents and I got Jake helping in the brewery, quite a few bartenders because we're open 5 days a week. Then we'll usually pick up a couple people that want to do farm work and help us get all the fruit grown and harvested in the summer.
I'm sure that not all family businesses work out, but I know that this nation is founded on family business, and I think that overall it's an attribute and a strength of our society, and I'm very, very glad to have my son working with us. You know, good business, I suppose, really needs to have a business plan, considering what you'd produce down the road, who you're going to sell to, so forth. We didn't know those things. I mean, I felt like a lot of it was just speculation. Sometimes you land in horse dew, and other times you maybe land in a pool of chocolate. we landed in the pool of chocolate, so it was good stuff. So one of the goals of these brews that we constantly make and constantly change is that we don't mind being consistently inconsistent. We're constantly looking for change that is going to be better than it was perhaps before, and it just becomes a new dish that we bring out of our oven for the consumer to enjoy.
You can't just start drinking beer at noon. The taste testing of beer at like 8 in the morning is never the most pleasant time to be having a beer. But sometimes it has to be done.